speed. Do you love how you see yourself when you look in the mirror? I'm Cora Naylor, certified coactive coach and emotion code practitioner. As women, we tend to be very critical of how we see ourselves, but less critical of others. So, to help us learn how to see ourselves better, I've invited Liza Lomax to join us today. Liza is a coach that specializes in body image. She helps women who have yo-yoed with their weight, who've tried every fad diet and they're still not happy with their reflection in the mirror. She helps them heal their relationship with food and themselves and helps them eliminate their negative self-talk so they feel beautiful and confident. Welcome, Liza.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited because I know we were just talking a few minutes before we got on here about I think some stores need to change up the mirrors that they have to make us feel a little bit better.
Yes, they do. It's like we go into these places and we're spending their money. We're spending money at their places and their facilities, and they should at least put some effort into the changing rooms with the getting nice mirrors and the lighting. It's like the lighting is this horrible fluorescent, just draining, ugly, like looking. It makes us feel really bad. And when we go and we try on swimsuits, especially women, we try on swimsuits and we try on jeans, we try on any kind of clothes, and we're trying them on in these places, and the lighting, is horrible. The mirrors are horrible, but we internalize it as we're horrible and we look bad when it has nothing to do with us. It has to do with them not putting in the effort to make it feel welcoming and inviting to come and try on their clothes.
Yeah. So maybe you can tell us a little bit of how you got started, because I love this, your title as a body image coach. That's just a little bit different than a lot of people that are either doing like life coach or health and wellness coach. What made you pick that name, and how did you get started?
Well, so I've had my own, I have my own transformational story, and I wasn't telling my story. And once I started doing that, I realized, wait a minute, there's a lot of women out there that struggle with body image. And you can be a size 2 or a size 22, and it does not matter. You still have those limiting beliefs, those behaviors, those stories that you've created in your head since you were children that, reflect how you feel about yourself as an adult. It's that not good enough story, that not worthy story. And I had that story. I came from a very religious household. And you had to look a certain way and dress a certain way and be a certain way and act a certain way. And when you weren't that way, as children, we try to fix them. And when we can't fix them, we try to do it over and over and over and over. And then we become adults where we're completely messed up in the head because we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people, or we don't think that we're good enough. We're not special enough. We're not pretty enough. We can't wear a little black dress because our body doesn't look like this, or we can't be up on stage speaking because my voice isn't loud enough, or my voice isn't big enough, which those are all those beliefs and those habits and those behaviors and stories that we essentially have taken on from our environment. Because a lot of our behaviors, I learned from my NLP training, that a lot of our behaviors aren't even ours. They come from, our parents, siblings, the people around us, our environment. So my own personal story is, because I was raised in a very, very religious household. I suffer from 2 EDs. I had anorexia and I had overeating, so binge eating. So I would binge eat. But I literally went from one end of the spectrum to the other. I was super, super skinny at a certain age. And then it was like a light bulb went off and I'm like, this isn't working for me. And I'm depressed. I have anxiety. I have all these issues. I'm just going to eat my emotions. And so by the time I was 26, I was 300 pounds. And I was borderline diabetic. I had high cholesterol, high blood pressure. The doctor told me that I was going to die if I didn't lose weight. And at the time I had a 2-year-old, and he's like, well, in the next 3 years, you probably won't be around until when he turns 5. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do something. I'm like, I want to live to see my son grow up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll lose the weight. So I lost 105 pounds in 13 months. But I didn't change my mindset. And so I continued to yo-yo and yo-yo and yo-yo. And I didn't, I didn't change those mindsets, those limiting beliefs, that those behaviors prior to that. And that's where we get the yo-yo dieting, because we're not handling those mindsets first before we go and we start a diet or we start an exercise program or if we want to lose weight. Because women come to me all the time and they're like, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. Well, we'll lose weight, but what's really the underlying issue here? And it's always that not good enough story. It's always, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel good enough. And so I lost the weight and I continued to yo-yo. And it was about 5-6 years later that I literally hit rock bottom. I was addicted to every single diet pill you could ever imagine. I've tried them all. I've tried those shakes. I've tried powders. I've tried so many ones. You open up the magazines and you see the ads for the diet pills, and take this diet pill and you'll look like this, or take this and you'll be like this. And there's always something that we're like, we're trying to fix when we don't fix the internal first. So hitting rock bottom, I was addicted to pills. I was a heavy drinker. I did things to my body nobody should ever, ever do to themselves. I was very rough on myself. I would overeat, and then I would take laxatives, and I would eat and eat and eat, and I would take laxatives. The mirror was a huge thing for me. In fact, I do a talk on making the mirror your friend and how we can make the mirror your friend. And there were times in my life I punched mirrors because I did not like what I saw. And I suffer from body dysmorphia. So I would literally look in the mirror and I would see a monster. I wouldn't see my reflection, what everybody else sees or what I see now. And, I knew I hit rock bottom, and whether you believe in God, higher source, higher power, whatever it is that you believe in, I really, truly believe that God was telling me that I needed to change and I needed to take care of myself. And so I took a step back and I'm like, okay, I've been a people pleaser. I've been a doormat. I've been, a caregiver, and I've given so much of myself to everybody else. And I valued my worth, what other people thought of me. If they treated me like dirt, I thought that's what I was. And so I based everything that everybody thought about me. I was thinking, well, that must just be me, and this is all I deserve. And so taking that step back and realizing that because I've done all these things, I'm a giver, I'm a lover, I'm a lover of love. I love to love people. I love to give love. I love to show people how to love, but I wasn't loving myself. And I was like, okay, am I supposed to be loving myself? Is this how this game of life works? Well, we know, yes, that's how it works. We need to love ourselves. We can't truly love another person till we love ourselves. And, so it sent me on this journey of this. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's got to be other women that struggle out there. There's got to be other women that have my story, that have similar stories, that need my help. And I knew my mission in this world was to help women love themselves and love their bodies, And so I went and I got certified in so many different modalities and different things, because I'm like, I need to have all these tools in my toolbox so that I can give those tools to other people, so I can show them how to do these tools, use these tools going forward. So they're not 60, 70, 80 years old and still worrying about what they look like in the mirror and still worrying about what they look like to the world. So I knew that there were other women out there that struggled. So that's kind of around about where I came, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and what, why I do now. I mean, I literally, I talk the talk, I walk the walk. I've been there. I've done that. I know the struggle, and now my son is 19. So I'm an empty nester, technically, so I know I probably don't look old enough to have a 19-year-old, but I'm like, I tell people, I'm like, I have an adult child, and they're like, what? How old are you? And I'm like, trust me, I had him at a decent age. I was 25. I'm in my mid 40s. Yes, I'm an empty nester now. So,
and I mean, for a lot of women, they haven't necessarily been looking after themselves while they're raising their kids. So,
right.
And that's why I like working with empty nesters. That's really a time to start focusing on yourself again for everything. And health is number one. I mean, a lot of women kind of complain and say, oh, life's over 50, but in reality, the average age for women is into your 80s. So we have a lot of years left, and it's really important we're looking after ourselves so that we have healthy years left.
Yes. And I tell women, I'm like, it's not selfish, it's self-preservation. It's like, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself. If we don't do that, we don't take care of ourselves first, we can't take care of other people around us. Even children, women with younger children too. But yeah, we go through a huge period of our life where we don't take care of ourselves because we're taking care of everybody else, and everybody else matters, and everybody else, I have to take care of my spouse. I have to take care of my kids. I have to take care of the world around me. So I'm going to put my life on the back burner, So, I mean, no, we don't. We need to put ourselves on the front burner, and we need to take care of ourselves, because that in turn takes care of everybody else around us. And we
Yeah.
get that we get that turned around in our brains.
Yeah. And it might be a bit awkward at first if they're not used to it, but it is really important. So how do you help women that are having problems looking in the mirror? What are some suggestions that you have to help them be a
So
little friendlier with the mirror?
yeah. So, like I said, I struggled a long time with the mirror. That was a huge thing for me. And when I started doing my transformation, going through my transformation and seeing myself in the mirror for the first time, I literally had to ask somebody standing next to me, who is that person? Because I didn't believe it was me. And I was like, wow, who's that beautiful person in the mirror? I can't believe that's me. That can't be me. Who is that? It was just like, it was just this eye-opening moment. And now I look at myself in the mirror and I pat myself on the back because of how far I've come. And then I'm able to look at myself in the mirror and not nitpick at every single little thing that we see, because that's what we do. We go to the mirror and that's what we do. We nitpick at every single little thing. I'm getting gray hair. I got to dye my hair. I'm getting wrinkles. I got to get Botox. Finding all these ways to fix ourselves and not accept ourselves for just who we are. And as women, we age. We're going to age. We're going to get older. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. So just embracing it and loving loving yourself. So some of the exercises I do, because I do a talk called making the mirror your friend.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the exercises I do is tell them, one simple exercise is to tell yourself, I love you in the mirror every day for a couple weeks, and just see how it affects the world around you. It's going to be really weird at first. It's going to feel kind of awkward, telling ourselves, but we tell ourselves, we say, I love you to so many other people around us. Why is it so hard for us to say it to ourselves? It should not be that hard. We are our own best friend. We are the most important person. We're going to be with each other for the rest of our lives. I mean, so why not love ourselves and tell ourselves, I love you? And it's so powerful, and you don't even realize it. And, after a couple of weeks, you're like, wow, I've gained more confidence. I'm able to go and try on a swimsuit, and not have to worry about what the lighting looks like. It's like, if you just remember, the lighting's just crappy. The mirrors are just crappy. It's like, if you feel good in it, then don't let everything else, the environment affect that.
It's so powerful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Saying affirmations or say, I love you in the mirror to yourself, because we don't do that. And even when you just do it and not look in the mirror, it's not the same as looking yourself in the mirror.
Mm-mm. It's not.
Like, because we're so critical of ourselves, and kind of keeping that in mind too is, would you tell your best friend that?
No.
And if you wouldn't tell your best friend that, why would you tell you that?
Right. Why? What gives you the right to say that to yourself? If you don't say that to your best friend, you shouldn't be saying it to yourself. You are your own best friend. This is the only body we're going to get this body is the only body we're going to get right now. So love it and cherish it and take care of it and love it for just the way it comes. You can change it. You can make small changes here and there, and that's fine. That's great. But if you don't make any changes, that's great too. Just learning to accept yourself. And it is really hard. It is really hard, when we've been programmed to believe that we need to look a certain way and dress a certain way and act that certain way and be that certain way. It's really hard to reframe and retrain. And that's what I do. I work on reframing and retraining those limiting beliefs and those behaviors and those patterns and those stories, and create new ones and help them create new ones.
Oh, that's so awesome. And just be easy on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves for so many things, and especially if it's something we've been doing for a long time, and now you're 50 something, and it's like, it's not going to change overnight.
Right. Yeah. A lot of the women that do come to me are in their mid 40s to 60s, because they're like, I've had enough. I'm tired of like worrying about what I look like. I just need to like love myself and accept myself. Can you please help me? So my, a tagline that I use is like, can you stand in front of the mirror naked and totally accept yourself? Accept the reflection that you see. And if you can't, come see me, because I can help you with that.
Well, that's a good way to end it off here. And just as we're watching for people, if you can see, I've got Liza's website here below. So LizaLomax.com. If you do want to get in touch with her, feel free to send her a message. She's, like I say, she's lived the story. So she's not just somebody out there who's passionate about it. She's been there herself. So that's very powerful for others that are going through the same thing. And if you're an empty nester, I've got an empty nester group on Facebook. We'd love to have you join us. So just comment below with a yes and we'll get you added in. And you can be supported by other women empty nesters going through the same thing and get notified of other interviews that we've got coming up. So thanks again, Liza, for being on the show today. You have an amazing story. Love you, and see everybody soon.
Bye.